Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. We are at the plot today and I have been so busy. I've been here since 10 o'clock this morning, and the first job of the day I thought was going to be the shed, but I actually jumped in and helped out my neighbour who is on that side of the plot that you guys were admiring his plot there when I did the plot tour in last week's video. But he actually wanted to fix the back end of the fence. We basically spent 2 whole hours clearing the fence from this post the whole way back, and you would have remembered there was a fence that had faced the front of the shed that we pulled out, and he basically wants to put in a new reinforced shed there, which I said I'd help him with because it was all leaning over onto our side of the plot that you would have seen in the last week's episode. The other issue that we have with the fence that I didn't notice when I was first up here, there is actually 2 fences here. So there's a fence on his side and there's a fence on our side, and basically the nettles and weeds are growing up through the middle of the 2 fences, so it's just not practical in terms of like weed control and that kind of thing. So we're going to have to address that at some point, but we're going to start with this half of the fence first, just so it's kind of established as a proper boundary. So that's what I've been doing this morning. I've also, as you can see in the background probably behind me, I have been working away since I finished on the fence, and I have been clearing the shed. So there's a load of junk behind me that I need to find a home for, but I've swept the shed out. I have gone in and given it a good old deep scrub with brushes, trying to clean up all of the debris and all of the nastiness that was in there last week. And I'm going to go and wash the windows, and I'm going to clear all the way around the side of the shed that's there where the sink is, so that I can get around and walk around the whole of the area. So I need to figure out an area where to put all of this junk. I'm just going to stow it in a nice manageable pile at one end of the plot first, and this is the start of a bank holiday weekend, so I have 3 days up here to get a really good jump start on the plot and hopefully get it in some way, shape by spring so that I can plant out some crops. Another job that I want to get done for the bank holiday weekend whilst I'm down here is to clear out all of the stuff that's underneath the floor that's here. You might have seen in the plot tour video that I did that when I was trying to pace out the ground here, I actually slipped. So there's a load of concrete and wood and all stuff underneath this grass that needs to be completely pulled out so that I can actually get a feel for what kind of growing space I've got and not break my ankle when I'm walking around trying to talk to you guys. The other thing that I hope to do as well is clear out this cage that's here. So I originally thought that was a fruit cage. Now the neighbour has told me that this was a fruit cage, but then it changed into a little coop for the chickens to run through. And then the previous allotment holder decided just to grow nettles in here. So this is just a cage for nettles. So I'm going to try and rip that up. I might try and obviously salvage as much as the chicken wire and all that kind of stuff as I can, because that'd be great for obviously anything that I use to climb with. But I need to kind of deal with this nettle situation that's here. So it seems that the plot is riddled in nettles all around the boundary and obviously right in the middle here. So that is another job for this weekend. So you've got 3 days. It's going to be a busy one. And I think this episode is mostly going to be me clearing the plot. But obviously it has to be done. So no more waiting around. I can't just sit here and talk to you all. I need to crack on. So let's get started. I am so thrilled with how the shed has turned out. Before I head off, I'm going to remove this fence panel so I can access the area around the corner and wash my windows. I will see you in the morning. We are back down the plot today. It is Sunday the 4th of February. It is 8:30 in the morning and this is day 2 at the plot. So I actually have Rue with me today. I could not bear leaving her at home for another day. So obviously I didn't want to bring her down on day 1, given the state that the shed was in. I just couldn't risk it. So as you saw yesterday, I cleared out all the floors, all the sides, so I feel much more comfortable being able to bring her in. So I have a few blankets that I'm going to pop down for her so she can get cozy and keep me company whilst I'm down here today. I didn't get round to finishing the windows, or getting started on the windows should I say, because the whole area down the side of the shed was completely overgrown and I couldn't actually get to it. So that is the first thing I'm going to crack on with today and get straight stuck into this morning. Let's go. Other than the cage surrounded by nettles, I think this area of the plot is the most overgrown. It is mostly nettles and a few dock plants dotted here and there. I do have super thick gloves on and my plan is to literally rip them all out with my hands, trying as best as I can to get the roots up along the way. There are a lot of hidden items down the side here. One of the first things I have found is a watering can, and as soon as I started to empty the contents, I immediately regretted it. All of this black liquid started flowing out of the spout, and I really hope that that isn't anything nasty or toxic. I've also created myself a lovely puddle of water right in the middle of where I'm trying to work. As I worked my way through, I started to lift up what I originally thought were compost bags, but I soon came to realise that these were in fact bags of chicken feed, and there were even more of these stored under the potting bench. And I think this might be where the rodent problem had started on this plot. So while touching these bags somewhat gives me the heebie-jeebies, I am delighted to be getting rid of them. Now I have the bulk of the tall weeds out of the way, I can go in and rescue the lawnmower. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with this, and to be honest, I don't even know if it works. But just in case the previous tenant does come back and feels like he wants to take it home with him, I will leave it at the front of the plot for him to rescue if he wants it. On closer inspection, the potting bench really has seen better days. It is mostly made up of wood chip, which has started to rot. I also noticed a small bit of ingress on the inside of the shed where the potting bench is. So sadly, I am going to have to take it all down. I will be keeping the sink however, so I have popped that to one side to use later. I did have a small chat with those screws as well off camera because they were not playing ball and I needed them to behave themselves. With the potting bench gone, I had a little rethink about this area, and it does really feel quite shady, so my initial plan of having the compost bays around the back isn't really going to work. Holger, my plot neighbour, did add me to a community group at the allotment, and I was given a very warm welcome by all the plot tenants, and it got me thinking. I could rotate this shed 180 degrees and I could move it towards the fence on the left, which would mean the windows would become south facing and this overly shady part of the plot wouldn't be such a dead spot. And I could do all of that heavy lifting with the help of my new friends at the plot. There are a couple of fruit bushes on the other side of this fence with their sprigs poking into my side of the plot, so I have decided to give those just a small trim, not too much. And my gosh, people really are not messing when they say gooseberry bushes are sharp. Those things are painful. I do think I need to come back through here and do a little second pass at the weeding, but for now I think that is good going. I wanted to tackle some of the chicken wire that was attached to the wooden posts. I used my snips to cut through the wire and I folded up each piece of wire as neatly as I could, making sure that all of the sharp edges were turned in on themselves before squishing them into little squares. That way, hopefully, I won't cut myself tomorrow when I go to move them. So, that's a few little bits cleared around the side of the shed, which I'm so happy with. And I put the fence posts in as well with my neighbour that he wanted to pop in, obviously, to renovate the fence. So we got that done today. And I'm hoping I did actually clear out a lot of this space here so I can actually walk through now. And what I didn't notice, and I don't think any of you guys noticed, is actually where I'm standing right now is full of concrete. Let me show you. So I've got all this middle bit clear. The trailer is still here, but I'm not in a rush, I can just wheel that out. But I've got all this bit clear and I started moving everything to the front. The sun has started to go down, so I didn't quite get enough time to do the cage, but I can do that tomorrow when we're back up here. And let me go in and show you the concrete that's under this space here. So I wanted to show you the concrete under here. So I think it goes from here all the way to here, all the way to the front, all the way over here. So I have a good bit of clearing. I didn't see that there when I came. I'm not sure any of you did, so I also have to clear that. Didn't plan for it, but the sun is going down now, so I'm not gonna be able to tackle the fruit cage yet, so we're gonna be back up here first thing in the morning to get on with that and continue clearing the rest of this. I'm happy with the progress so far. I did clear everything that's in the middle here. The sun is unbelievable right now, even though it's going down. This is such a little sun trap, so I will see you back here bright and early in the morning. It is now day 3 at the plot and the last day of my bank holiday weekend. So I think I might be finally getting around to cleaning the windows. So I think I'm actually up here on my own this morning. It is like so tranquil. I feel like I've been really productive these last couple of days on the plot. I know it's been a lot of clearing, debris, and there's still a lot to do in terms of weeding, but it feels so good to have obviously been back out and doing some like garden-y things. I know not a lot of what I'm doing is quite gardening, but it is kind of gardening-esque, so it feels so good. And I really should have spent these 3 days putting my head into my books for my last semester of college, but this has been way more fun. So I'm going to hopefully get around to the windows today and hopefully the fruit cage. So let's see how much I can get done on day 3 at the plot. After separating all of the mesh wire yesterday, I was left with a big pile of wood. I think I'm going to store it away for some firewood, but first I do need to clean out the chicken coop. This area of the coop isn't actually too bad, but I do need to give it a little bit of a sweep. I did think there was a loose piece of wood in the very back. I did try and get at it through the tiny door on the side, but nothing seemed to budge for me. But all in all, I do think this is going to be a perfect little temporary wood store. So I just took a little 5-minute break just to rest my muscles after moving all of that stuff. So I managed to clear obviously the barrel, the generator, and it was literally like a kind of smash and drag kind of approach. So obviously everything was really like sodden with the water, so it was so heavy. So I literally just pushed everything, whatever kind of broken pieces I could then pick up and take out. The generator was heavy, but I just kind of dragged it the whole way out. So happy with the progress I've made there, and it's now time to clean my windows. So I'm going to crack on and clean this. It will let a little bit more light in, and yeah, I'll take you inside maybe and show you around what I did inside there. I have got some cardboard too, so that's ready obviously to put my beds. I'm not ready to put any beds in yet, but I'm hoping to do the no-dig approach. There's still loads of stuff obviously that I showed you yesterday. There's concrete, there's wooden boards, loads and loads and loads of things under there that needs to be lifted before I can put the cardboard down. And I also will obviously need to get some stuff to top the cardboard, like compost and stuff like that. So obviously there is an expense to that because I don't have any of my own. So if anyone has any ideas on like maybe an affordable way to start this kind of raised bed thing, please do let me know, because it's going to cost me an arm and a leg with all the compost and things like that. So maybe there's an alternative solution or things I can mix in that are super beneficial but I don't know about. So I've done the outside of the windows. I just need to do the inside, and you can see inside here it's all full of cobwebs. So I'm going to go ahead and try and clear some of that down. I have my cardboard here. Obviously just been keeping that obviously from work. I went to Tesco's. Tesco's gave me a load of cardboard. They literally just wheeled the whole trolley out and gave it to me. So just need to finish off dusting in here and it will be so much more comfortable. So this is my shed. Welcome to the first ever shed chat. And yeah, just I'm so thrilled. Like I feel like I've made so much progress. I'm feeling really happy. I've enjoyed every minute of it. I've met a couple more people today, which is super fun. And yeah, I just need to figure out what to do with all the stuff at the front. I'm going to chat to a few other people, see will the site owner take it or what the story is. Obviously everyone can take it if they want. I don't think anybody wants to take any of it. I also was just wanting to see was any rats still around, obviously because there was quite a lot of droppings in here, but the area where there's a hole is absolutely fine. Nothing has burrowed in under the cardboard that's here, so it's all really positive, and I think this is going to make a lovely, lovely little potting bench. And I might even, it's quite warm in here, like it's only about 10 degrees or so, but generally in here it feels quite warm, so I might even bring my pepper plants in here and overwinter them here, because there's an insane amount of fungus gnats on them and they're driving me insane in the house. So I think I might bring them up here, and then that'll be up here's problem. So I'm just going to clear it all down. So that is me done for my first 3 days at the plot. It's now the end of the bank holiday weekend. I am going to go home and edit this video and get it uploaded for you guys. So I'll see you next week for some more adventures down at the new allotment plot. See you then. Bye.
This allotment life is hard work.